Although December is fast approaching, we've still got the possibility of some major news hitting the gaming scene. One possibility comes in the form of alleged major Legend of Zelda news making its way to the Game Awards 2021. Let's discuss the juicy, gossipy details and whether or not we could reasonably expect these things to happen right now. Hey beautiful human, I'm RidersDX, and welcome to another rendition of Birds Pick on the Breadcrumbs and Nintendo Insiders as we eagerly anticipate some amazing reviews. When it comes to big reviews around this time of the year, I really only do expect, if there's anything, for it to come at the Game Awards, which is increasingly becoming one of gaming's most popular events of the year. Most companies will opt to take things easy as the year closes out, as most employees and staff head back home to celebrate the holidays. But the Game Awards occurs right before that cozy tradition and thus are not outside of the realm of some insane announcements to give us that last high before the new year. So, y'all ready to get high? They've had some pretty epic announcements in the past, such as the review of Crash Team Racing Nitro feud a few years back. The latest rumor involves Nintendo, as a prominent leaker named Samus Hunter has alleged some major Legend of Zelda news to crash the awards ceremony. Let's sip the tea and take a look. The celebrations for the 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda will continue at the Game Awards. Given the follow-up to the tweet, I want to specify a couple things. I don't currently know specific details about it, but here's what it could mean. Concert dedicated to the entire series, very likely. Trailer for the sequel to Breath of the Wild. Collaborations with other games. So we got some pretty juicy details to sip on over here. Likewise, the only thing Samus Hunter actually confirms is the fact that there's going to be some kind of Legend of Zelda thing at the Game Awards, but she doesn't actually specify what it's going to be, which I guess is very vague, and I don't know. If it does happen, then it's like she was technically right because she didn't confirm anything per se, just confirmed that Legend of Zelda would be there, which in and of itself is a pretty good prediction, I guess, because it's like, well, there's not really any signs of anything Zelda related being at the Game Awards, so this is honestly the first thing we've seen that alleges that something will be there, so she might have some insight, although I've heard mixed opinions about how good she's been in terms of getting things right. The first thing she lists is a concert dedicated to the entire series, which just seems like a really awesome way to celebrate the game, especially given how iconic its soundtrack is. I recall that earlier this year there was a Sonic Symphony concert, and that was a really great event, so I can only imagine what Legend of Zelda one would be like, so I can totally see this happening. Could be a nice little live stream event to really bring some awareness to the Zelda franchise. At the bottom, she also lists that collaborations with other games could be happening. So some of the ideas I can think of is like more Animal Crossing items, for instance, maybe a Monster Hunter event, because I think Sonic's having one like this past week, so that's also a possibility. And I can't really think of any other Nintendo games at the moment that there could be events for, but I'm sure there's a whole ton of other ones that they could do. So do you have any ideas of what these collaborations could be? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm really curious to read what you all think could be happening. But the one thing I really want to talk about here is the fact that she says a trailer for Breath of the Wild 2 is very much possible. So the game is very much slated for release in 2022 as far as we know, so a trailer would make sense around this time, especially if it's not going to be at the very end of next year but maybe in the summertime, which is very much possible since this game has been developed for at least 5 years at this point if I'm correct. I feel like a trailer though would be a lot to reveal at the Game Awards. It feels more like something a direct would reveal, so I'm not really sure if we are going to see something like this, although I would be very happy if we do, because while we did get that one trailer back in the summer, it didn't really give us much beyond like the fact that it's going to take place mostly in the sky, which is a lot of info. Like that's pretty awesome. And that was just a big first review trailer overall as well, so that was just exciting in and of itself. But I wonder if there is going to be a trailer, is it going to show off any gameplay mechanics, like show off specific gameplay, or will it even reveal release date? I feel like a release date is a little bit too early for this unless it is coming out in the summer, but I just have a feeling that this game will come on the fall. Like this seems like a big fall title that Nintendo could be putting for their holiday sales, so I do feel like they would probably push this game until the holiday. Plus it seems like a very big ambitious game anyway, so that extra time could very much well be appreciated by the development team. In terms of gameplay mechanics, I could see them showing off a little bit more of the flying system or some other things, but I don't think we're going to see too much of it because, again, this is something I feel like Nintendo would review either in their own Zelda Direct or a Nintendo Direct. So I don't think they would reveal too much more beyond maybe another teaser trailer here at the Game Awards. But I could be wrong, Nintendo could just be very generous and give us a whole bunch of info right before the holidays really take control of the narrative. So I guess we'll just have to see. One thing a lot of Zelda fans have been talking about for a while now though is the Switch ports of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD. So naturally, Samus Hunter got a lot of comments about these two ports, and here's what she had to say. I see very difficult, if not impossible, the announcement of a Wind Waker / Twilight Princess HD. I don't have any information about them, and that likely means that they don't have plans to market them. Also, we might get other Switch games / updates reviews like Monster Hunter if we don't get news this month. So there you go, it doesn't seem like Twilight Princess or Wind Waker HD is going to get any reviews anytime soon, which is a little disappointing I guess for all the people, including myself, who have been waiting for them to come out. In fact, if I'm being honest, I highly doubt we'll even see these remasters in the next year because of Breath of the Wild 2. The only way I see these remasters coming out is if Nintendo ends up delaying Breath of the Wild 2 to 2023, then I could see these remasters come out as a way to tide the wait to the sequel. But Breath of the Wild 2 has been in development for who knows how long at this point. Considering it being a sequel, unless there's a lot of innovations this game does to the original, I'm thinking it's gonna come out next year. So I just think that releasing Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD, either one, even if it's just one game right before Breath of the Wild 2, I just think that's going to be a lot of Zelda content, at least for Nintendo standards, and I just don't see them doing that. This isn't Mario, unfortunately, where he could release like 5 games in the span of a year. Zelda games tend to be a lot more sparse, and so it's either going to be one or the other, unfortunately, and I do see it being more likely it being Breath of the Wild 2. Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD just seem like these projects Nintendo has just in case they potentially have a long period of time without any Zelda games. I mean, we've had Hyrule Warriors, Skyward Sword HD, and other numerous Zelda items to keep our attention up till now, and Breath of the Wild 2 seems to be slipping in as that next major title in the Zelda franchise. So I am gonna say that not only will we not see it at the Game Awards, but I kinda don't anticipate seeing them for a long time until Breath of the Wild 2 fully gets unveiled and released. But if I was a Nintendo executive, what would I personally want them to review at the Game Awards? So I honestly would rather see one of these remasters just get reviewed and done with. I feel like a Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, unless it's going to be this major thing, probably won't review a lot at the Game Awards. Like, I feel like it's just something that Nintendo would rather review within their own directs. I don't feel like they would give off so much information about such a major title within their lineup at the Game Awards. I feel like the trailer is just not going to be that intense or that amazing. So that's just me being cynical. I mean, I will give them the benefit of the doubt when the ceremony comes, but I'm just not expecting huge things from this trailer if it is going to happen. But an announcement of a remaster, I think that's a completely reasonable thing to review at the Game Awards, and honestly, I would just love to start playing one of these 2 games on the Switch. Twilight Princess was my very first Zelda game and I love it to death. It's amazing, and I really want to get into Wind Waker too. Like, the art style just looks amazing. I've heard so many good things about it. I've never got to try it up till now, so it'd just be great to have either one in the system. I mean, Skyward Sword is great, but personally it's not one of my favorite Zelda games. Like, I remember playing it when it first came out and I just wasn't that into it. I haven't really warmed up to the remaster either, if I'm being honest. So just to see Twilight Princess or Wind Waker on here would be so amazing. I really do want to play one of them on the Switch, but I guess we just have to wait until that day finally comes. But it just seems like it is going to come one way or another. Just, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, which is disappointing, but completely reasonable. But I want to hear your thoughts about this. Let me know in the comment section below if you think that these rumors are legitimate and that we will see these things at the Game Awards, or if you think they're lies, and explain why you think that this person shouldn't be trusted. You are a Nintendo executive, you got to decide what they reviewed at the Game Awards. What would you want to see? Would you want to see Breath of the Wild 2 basically just get unveiled and released in the next day or so? Or would you want to see some remasters and such? Are you a remaster person? Let me know your thoughts. We're really curious to hear your thoughts. Either way, Legend of Zelda is such an amazing franchise, and whatever Nintendo decides to review at the Game Awards, if anything, is going to be pretty amazing. I can't wait to see what it is. Even if it is minuscule, it'll just be good to see some content for this franchise, especially since the 35th anniversary has just felt very underwhelming, especially compared compared to Mario's anniversary. I really think that Nintendo should have done more for the 35th anniversary, but I don't know. I guess 35 itself is an odd number, so maybe Nintendo didn't feel like it was appropriate to do a bunch of 35th anniversary stuff, which is sad, but it is what it is. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. But alright y'all, this is Riders, riding out. Thank you so much for watching this video. Special shout out to my patrons, New Gamer Hub, Team Rattle Sign Gamer, Johnny Hinton Ortiz, Trash Q, Claw84. These are my patrons / YouTube members. If you'd like to become a patron or YouTube member and get access to a whole bunch of different perks, then please check out the links in the description box below. But alright, this is Riders, riding out.